Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is the Art of Politics, and there's so much to talk about. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, the President of the United States did an incredible job last week. He was unbelievable. And tonight, I think it's Ryan, and I think it's, let's see, who's the other one? Oh, well, anyway, the Vice President of the United States. So it's going to be a real mess. So this is really Thursday night. It's debate tonight, so we got to hurry up and do the show. Isn't that right, David? And of course, I am the Democrat. He's the Republican. I'm the good guy. He's the bad guy. All right.
Good to see you. And you know, I continue to just be wondering about the fact that I survived doing a show with a communist.
With a communist?
With a communist, yes.
Yeah. So I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate it, but.
Right. So big this is actually, folks will start seeing this Monday next week. But this is I love it.
You had to bring up Big Bird. I didn't bring it up. Yeah. Now you know what I say. You know what I say. Remember, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Republicans, Big Bird. Republicans, Big Bird. Don't vote Republican. See this? This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get from this. Okay? All right.
Somehow the idea of Big Bird being supplanted by a scrawny chicken. The poor baby. I mean,
this is what happens. You kill a Big Bird, and this is what you get.
No, nobody's talking. We're not talking death panels for Big Birds.
Yes. No. Oh, yes. That's the Republican way.
No, we're not.
Yes,
we're not talking that. The Republican way is very. It's a gentle way. It's a respectful way.
What do you mean? It's an injection.
What we're going to do is we're going to help.
It's an injection.
No, we're going to help Big Bird go into the private sector. We're going to help Big Bird go into the private sector so he pays taxes.
Right. Let me see. Typical Republicans. Let me see if I've got this straight.
He'd be on Fox.
What?
We put Big Bird on Fox, put him right between...
Big Bird on Fox.
Between the Family Man
I don't think so. What do you think, Big Bird? No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, and he'd be a moneymaker, and that way he could support...
No.
You know how prolific chickens are?
What prolific chickens?
Prolific, as far as progeny? He has got so many kids to support.
Who?
Big Bird.
No, I don't.
What do you mean you don't? It's out there.
I'm not going to explain the dynamics of this thing.
The dynamics of Big Bird?
Yeah, that's right. It's a bird that you don't know if it's a male or a female.
Well, all I can say...
Because we don't want to get into that.
All I can say to the folks out there is the Republicans are the folks who are trying to foster private enterprise. Big Bird can go onto a network, make money, pay taxes,
and if you believe
and that way, that's how the whole boat, boat rises with the water rising.
Excuse me, would you please tell our audience, Mr. Republican, all the cuts they have done? Do you realize we're going to pay more taxes? More taxes. Your tax rate's going to go up because of who? Because they cut so many things. They've done such a good job. You know what they've done? They forgot where they're from. That's right. More Republicans have forgot where they're from, and guess what? They get up there and they think they're really, really important, and they're not. And in fact, I hope a lot of them go. You could stick around if you wanted to. Oh, just give me, please. Do you realize that we're in one of the greatest recessions? Of all time,
I do.
I can't take myself seriously. I'm holding a bird.
A bird and a chicken. All I have to say when we talk about tax increases, all I would suggest you consider is, what did John Roberts say that Obamacare was? It was like a tax. $5 trillion. You talk about tax increases.
Let me see. Ladies and gentlemen,
can I pet your bird?
To get some statistics, let me give you some. 60% of the bankruptcies, the main reason is because of health bills. 40% of the people who walk into emergency rooms are, guess what? People who don't have insurance. Who pays for that? You. $50 billion a year. And him, he's playing with a bird.
Coochie, coochie. Oh, you're so cool.
I give it up.
I'm a Republican. I need to be
Republican.
A little love. I need some love. I need some yellow love from Big Bird tonight.
Republican
yellow love.
That's disgraceful.
I'm giving you all of these straight lines. You're not taking them.
I would want to be a Republican if I was you. And don't tell me you believe everything he says. Give me a
I believe
break.
what Big Bird says.
First, he believes in abortions, that a woman may care for her own body. Now he doesn't believe in abortions. Then he believes in something else. Then he believes in this. And he loses the, you do realize he has lost the Tea Party people, but he's got them back because he went over here. And then he gets, oh boy, I'll tell you. And then now remember when he went to Israel, he didn't go across the border because that's the enemy and they want to make, oh no, no, no. But now he says, we need a two-state thing. You have to understand, and this is what the president does. You may not like what he does, but you know where he's going. Romney can't even answer a question. You ask him, well, it's in the details. The devil's in the details. Excuse me, how about telling us what you're doing? I can't help this. There is this guy sitting here with a bird, a yellow bird. Okay, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Kenny, I want to ask this very carefully. Why do you hate Mormons?
Why do I hate Mormons?
Yeah, I mean, why are you picking on Mitt? What is it?
Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't bring Mormons up, did I? But since you brought Mormons up, you do know what the white horse prophecy is.
I've heard about it. You've enlightened me.
This is in Mormon. In fact, you can go and you can find out. What it is when the United States is hanging by a thread. In comes a Mormon and takes over. But the problem is 5 months after he takes over, there's World War III. So Romney will not talk about his religion. But when you start learning about his religion, all of a sudden it gets a little freaky. Now, we have talked about religion before. If you want to be a Mormon or a Protestant or a Catholic, I don't care. I really don't care. And in our religion, as Christians have done some awful things. He's a Mormon and also a Christian, but he's on a particular sect of Christianity, and they have done some awful, odd things. For instance, as you know, when the second coming comes, God is going to go to Israel first, then he's coming to Missouri. This is what they say. Also, God lives out on a planet over here. All right, so I don't hate Mormons, but you got to look up. I think everybody should turn around and look up the white horse prophecy. I think it would be shocking. I think it's going to shock people, and I don't know why people aren't mentioning it.
Friends, I just want to let you know that as Kenny digs a hole for himself, I'm sitting out here very carefully listening and trying to take it all in without judging.
David, you're sitting there with a bird in your lap. You think they're going to take you serious?
My baby.
You're sitting there with a bird.
Our dog Bentley is going to be really, really ticked off about this when he sees this.
Who?
Our dog Bentley. Bentley usually gets in my lap. He's significantly heavier than Big Bird, but.
I think this is the oddest beginning we have had so far on the show.
In an odd relationship.
It is an
odd relationship. You hear about the odd couple. I feel that sometimes we're like a couple of crusty old men who just bicker with each other on the back porch over our coffee and lemonade and cigarettes.
But we're getting in trouble because.
What do you mean we're getting in trouble? We've gone. We're there.
Because you have turned to be a friend, but you are a Republican. Friends of mine are running against you. O'Brien is one of them. Right. Who is the other person who's running against you?
Let's see. We've got Marty Jack and Linda. Oh, golly. I'm sorry, Linda. Linda Harriet Gathgard. Linda Gathgard Harriet. I apologize.
Well, this is O'Brien, and I love the guy, and he really helped me when I got up there in Concord, and I'll tell you, he's going to be tough. And I've got firemen running against me, so it's going to be tough for me too. But I'm warning you. You better do your homework.
Well,
I would take that bird out of your lap and give it to me.
I figure we'll wait till we get a little farther. But I'll tell you, on the way over here, I've had a sign up at a space next to a fire station for 3 or 4 weeks now. Last couple of days, an O'Brien sign showed up beside it. This was in somebody's yard.
O'Brien?
O'Brien. So and of course.
Wait a minute. O'Brien. Yes.
Yeah, Mike O'Brien.
Yeah, okay.
Mike O'Brien is a Democrat, and he's running for state
against
rep.
you.
He's running against me, state rep in Ward 9.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Got great grandkids. I saw one of his grandchildren. It's really neat. But here's this, you know, this O'Brien sign and this Robbins sign, and the whole idea that struck me about the fact that, all right, we disagree on a lot of stuff, but here we are coexisting in the same
It's
space.
signs. It mean, you know.
I mean, it's not a sign from above?
No, it's not a sign from above.
Bummer, dude.
No. And in fact, I want to talk a little bit about signs.
Why don't you go ahead? I think
yeah,
we've milked this one for
I heard that Avad lost, he's saying he lost about 50 signs. People are stealing them. I don't believe it's 50 signs, but I lost 5 last night. And one of the reasons, I was talking to somebody, and see, what I did is I got round signs. I got round signs because they were a little more expensive, but I say that what they are is they're, you know, the air flows around them instead of a square sign, it's sailed, all right? So, all right, but mine go like this, like one of those birds.
Okay.
But what I did was I took the time and I'm driving by the signs at night and I'm going, I can't see my signs. So I buy some of this tape. And I put Gidge, you know, I go over the white letters with Gidge. So during the day, you see Gidge and white letters. At night, you're driving down the road, and you see Gidge, Gidge, Gidge. So people are stealing them. I'll look, if you want a sign, when it's all over, you let me know. I'll sign one and give it to you. But don't say, and I'll pay anyone $100 right now if you can bring me to somebody's house who has a sign who has stole it. $100 to anyone, because and that should go for everyone. If they steal your sign, would you give $100 if you can find out who did it?
To the people who stole my sign? No, I'm not going to give any money to the people who stole my sign.
No, to the people who tell you who stole your sign.
No, you know what? It's if it became really out of hand. I've had a couple missing.
Really out of hand. I lost 5 last night.
Were they on private property or public property?
Private property.
All right, now that is different.
I know, but. That has to stop, you know. And I'll tell you, it's hard enough to do this. We've talked about this before. We don't make any money doing it. We do it because it's important. If I wasn't in commerce, I wouldn't do it. There's too many things up in commerce that you don't want to get through, and stuff you do want to get through. Banking and insurance, and we are also consumer affairs, and I'm also on the committee studying the Liquor Commission, which is a story in itself.
I know.
But so that's why I'm doing it. But I heard somebody saying this, and I know the camera's on me, and I'm glad. Now, if you hear a person start saying that politicians are really no good, and what you ought to do is give the money back to you, which sounds awfully nice, because they can't trust politicians. And I've heard people say this, and you know what I thought to myself? Excuse me, you're a politician. You don't trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how can anyone trust you? So the next time you hear some fool go and you can't trust government. If they're politicians, you can't trust them. I wanted to say that. I was thinking about that.
Well, you know, that's a very important point. Are we part of the problem or part of the solution, or both?
No, we are not the problem. No, and you make a statement at the beginning, oh, what we're trying to do is to get Big Bird and go out and, you know, they could find their own money, etc. Excuse me, that little creature right there has probably helped more people in the history of TV. Kids learn how to, you know, from spelling, etc. at Sesame Street. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well,
it's helped kids go into kindergarten, go to grade school, and it's helped. If this little guy goes away because of you guys, Republicans, I'm telling you,
friends,
they can't be trusted.
Notice that Big Bird is sitting on my lap. I think that must mean that he endorses me. And how can you vote against someone that Big Bird endorses? Thank you, Bird.
And by the way, I would like to say he's sitting there. This is a grown man sitting with a yellow bird on his.
Yeah, what's the point?
That's the point?
Yeah. Hey, listen, very exciting stuff coming up for us next week.
What's going on?
We are going to, the Art of Politics is going on the road. We're going to do a forum at City Hall Auditorium.
We are.
Wednesday, the 17th of October, 6:30 p.m. We are going to have gubernatorial nominee Kevin Smith, and we are going to have Representative Christopher Serlin from the Portsmouth area, and they are going to have a very vigorous dialogue discussion on question 1, the tax question.
And we're going to be sitting there.
And we are going to be presenting it. We're going to be there. We're going to be between them at least part of the time, and we're going to be...
No, but you know, we haven't talked about that yet, how we're going to handle it.
Well, carefully. I mean, we've got to be...
Carefully. This is not the presidential thing. We got to get sparks flying around. People look at this show. That's what they expect.
All right.
You want to play the judge. Doesn't he look like one of those judges in the old Texan movie thing?
I've been told that I sometimes try to be Abraham Lincoln too much, but I don't have the mole.
Abraham, yeah. Well, I can give you one.
You can
tell you that right
He's
now.
going to give me a sock in the Labanza.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is
so
question,
okay,
question
explain
1.
it to the people. We're going to do what?
Right.
What's question 1?
All right, question. If I may, real quick, read it. Question
right,
1.
This is question 1.
Is: Are you in favor of amending the second part of the Constitution by inserting a new article to read as follows? Notwithstanding any general or special provision of this Constitution, the General Court shall not have the power or authority to impose and levy any assessment, rate, or tax upon income earned by any natural person after January 2nd.
Which sounds really good. Doesn't that sound just really perfect?
What it appears to be doing is it's essentially saying we cannot have an income tax. It also is saying that we cannot have any new taxes on other kinds of income. What it appears to avoid...
And the definition of income is?
The definition of income is, as it says here, income earned by any natural person. Now,
wait a minute. Well, corporation is considered a person.
Well, now this is I was
you
just
do
about
know
to,
that, right?
I was just about to get to that.
Okay.
Does this mean that we could not increase the BET and business enterprise tax and business something tax? Is the BL?
David.
Yes, but what that does mean is...
If you can't explain it, don't open the Constitution, period.
Kenny, this question is going to be voted on. It is. It's going to be. So the reason we're doing this forum, the reason you're doing this forum, is to provide information so that people can make an informed decision on this.
An informed decision, quite simply, is he is a state legislator. He just can't explain what this means, and you're going to be informed about it. Who's going to inform him?
Well, I'm not going to inform people. It's going to be Kevin Smith, and it's going to be Chris Serlin.
Well, do you know what it is?
I just read it to you.
Well, I know, but can you explain it?
You asked me a question. What would you like me to explain?
You just said, does this mean we can't add to what already exists?
What it does, what I was trying to say is that this appears to mean, and this is one of the reasons for having a forum like this, that the legislature could increase taxes on income that are already in effect. We have the business enterprise tax, we have the business profit tax. Now, one would have to have a really close learning are those that are taxing corporations considered natural people? I'm not a constitutional scholar, and I don't know.
A constitutional scholar, a piece of paper is corporations. Oh, I can't believe this. Look, David, believe it or not, one of the reasons why we're in this financial position has nothing to do with how bad the state of New Hampshire has been run. In fact, the state of New Hampshire has been run very, very, very well for an awfully long time, both with Republicans and Democrats. What the problem is right now is that we are in one of the greatest recessions that this country has ever had. Now, under the Democratic president, what has gone up? Banking has gone back almost to where it belongs. Housing sales are up by an enormous amount of money. People are starting to spend more money, and the unemployment rate went down. Guess what? That really happened. So you know what happens when all of this takes place? All right, it comes to New Hampshire. We're part of that group. And what happens is we get more money coming in. The time we start fooling with the Constitution is when we scare people and tell people, oh, things aren't going to get any better. Even though things right now are getting a lot better, we're going to try to tell them, you guys are, that it's not. And we've got to change the Constitution. Don't do it.
Well, Kenny, I'm going to vote for this amendment based on what I know right now. How about you?
Well, excuse me. I'm not for any taxes, okay? Don't misunderstand me.
Okay.
I am not to open the Constitution.
All
Because if you can't answer, does this mean you can't add something to an existing tax?
What I'm hearing you say is, gee, I don't know what this is, so I'm going to vote no.
And you don't know what it is, so you're going to vote yes?
No, I've got a sense of it. What I said was,
I think the rule of thumb is, if you don't know what it is, don't vote for it.
What I said was based on what I know now. It's one of the reason that we're organizing this forum is to really get into this and learn from it. I admit to not knowing all the ins and outs of this. I know some of the stuff. I've done some research, but I want to learn more. I'm inclined to vote for it right now. Let's see what the facts are. Let's see what the facts are.
Did you just didn't hear what I said? One of the reasons why this
heard it,
is
but
taking
I chose to
place.
ignore it.
Okay, I apologize. One of the reasons why this is coming about is a knee-jerk. It's getting people scared. It's getting lunatics involved in politics to turn around and say, we've got to change the Constitution. But yet, they can't even figure out if a corporation is a real person or not.
All right. So, Kenny, I take it you.
So
what are you going to do on this? I mean, you got to vote on November. You got to vote for it, against it.
Not to open the Constitution.
Okay, so you're voting against the. That's fine.
I am not. Do not want anyone to open the Constitution.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a legitimate. That certainly is a legitimate opinion.
And we also, David, you know from writing some bills and being involved, any time that one can find two interpretations about one thing and one bill, all hell, it just goes crazy. We already know this. The best thing of recently, and I was involved with it partially, and that was the term of what is a security. You would think by now that this state of New Hampshire would figure out what a security is. But it was used against the Bureau of Securities here in the state of New Hampshire just last year. I was part of putting it together. As part of my bill, we divided my bill. Donna Schlotman took that part, and we got it through. Okay? And it's an explanation of what a security is. That, of all the years that this has been going on, and you can't explain, or can you find someone to explain exactly what that means?
Yeah, that's why we're doing this Wednesday. What we're doing is this is a public service on our behalf, although he doesn't seem to think so. To provide information so that voters can make up their own mind. I think that's the highest and best service that we can provide. Provide a forum so that people can learn, people can understand. They can then go out and say, boom, I feel like I know what I'm doing here, and I'm going to cast my vote this way or the other, whichever it is.
But you know, this sounds nice. This sounds nice when you hear it. All right. But it's how this got to where it is was really by fear mongering. You got the majority of the House of Representatives. Now let us remember, this has not happened for over 100 years.
What has happened?
There's 297 Republicans and 103 Democrats in a House of 400. Think about it. That's an absolute majority. They basically can do what they want. So if somebody comes up with a stupid idea of, hey, let's make sure no one ever raises another tax. Wow, this is going to be really good and sound good. But the problem is, when you take a good look at it, you see the infrastructure, etc. You may be in the future. Not now, because times are really, really, really bad. We all know that. But during these moments in history, when times are really, really bad, is where a lot of dumb things take place.
Well, you know, you're raising a very good point. And the point that one of the things that I am thinking about seriously is, here we are. If this were to pass, we would essentially be saying in 2012, future generations do not have the ability to make decisions that we could make now, because they don't have the ability to raise an income tax unless they amend the Constitution again. Now let me just wait a minute, Ken. Let me just finish, for God's sakes.
I'm sorry.
All right, thank you very much. Ken, just let me finish with this for a second. One of the things that concerns me about this is we are saying to future generations, we're taking the ability to make a certain decision out of your hands. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. That's like saying to people 50 or 100 years down the road, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, you cannot have the ability to raise a tax.
You know what I just said? I just said earlier on that when you hear people saying they can't trust the government, and they're in the government, and they are the government, they can't be trusted. Don't vote for this. And I really mean that. When you hear politicians say, you can't trust our government, you can't trust our government, and they're politicians, you can't trust them. You really can't trust them. People forget, when they leave Nashua and head to Concord, they do some awfully things, did a lot of cutting, which they're coming back this way. It's going to cost Nashua some money, all right? But when I hear people say, and you brought up a good point, when I hear people say, guess what? It's, we can't trust politicians. We can't. And I go, you are a politician. You mean you can't trust yourself? So other people shouldn't trust you. So vote for somebody else. But David, you brought up the good point yourself, is that down the road, you just can't tell. And besides, as far as I know, I don't know a Democrat or a Republican who wants an income tax. I don't think it has to be put into a law.
Well, in the Constitution.
Into the Constitution.
Well, I think that what, the discussion we've just had points to the fact that what's going to happen here next week on Thursday the 17th, Wednesday the 17th, is going to be very, very interesting, informative. I will pledge to you that I will not engage in a fist fight with you on the stage, if you will pledge that to me.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about this. You know, David,
oh, you mean you will engage in? You're not ruling out a fist fight on
no,
the stage?
I'm not.
With me?
No, are you kidding me?
Oh, all right, okay.
You're big and goofy. That ought to be easy.
Hey, look, he's saying something bad about you.
You take him seriously. He's sitting around with a yellow duck or whatever.
No, this is Big. This is Big Bird.
This is Big Bird. You remember the Republicans? Where's the chicken? There's a
Oh, okay.
But you know, David, there's going to be someone here. We're going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Now the question is that we're going to get it going, but we have the ability to turn and say, excuse me, this is what he said, but isn't this factual? Do you have to, or, hold on a second. He made a point over here, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this?
I'll tell you.
It's going to be a mess. I'd go there just to see what's going to happen.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Go ahead.
Don't let anybody else know. So hold your ears on this one.
Yeah.
You and I and Richard, our faithful and wonderful producer, have all the power. We hold the keys to the camera and the mics. We can turn everybody else's mic off.
Including mine.
Well, no, but we can do any damn thing we want to. And if we feel that somebody's obfuscating, we can go right after them. If we feel that somebody is getting beaten up, we can go after the other person. We can do any number of things we want to.
One thing we can do.
What's that?
What we can do is we could make just a tiny little thing, probably 45 seconds, about what's going to be taking place. We'll just say, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Like we do, and just, all right.
Yeah.
But at the end, they can have their times. But we also can get a little time ourselves. Why not? It's the art of politics.
Questions. I mean,
No, I mean at the end.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we can.
Yeah, we give them a minute, they get a minute, and we argue.
Yeah.
I think. And they can sit there. We can be not mean, but
we're not mean.
Argumentative.
We're crusty. We're not mean. We're crusty.
Let me tell you something. I don't care what's going to happen. I'd go just to see what's going to happen between the two of us. And what they might both get up and walk out, and we're going to be sitting there.
Gidge and Robin, steel cage, grudge match.
Ah, one ran for the governorship, correct?
Yeah, Kevin Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith.
And I'll tell you, Kevin, I don't know Kevin very well, but I have talked with him several times. He is, however one feels about his political philosophy, he is a tremendously intelligent, tremendously articulate, very respectful person for advocating his position. And Chris Serlin is a Democratic rep from, I believe he's from Portsmouth, and he's been the Democrat that I probably have been the most impressed with the last 2 years. He's a freshman. Unfortunately, he won't be coming back after this term, but he is knowledgeable, he's sharp, he's articulate, he's reasonable, he's reasoned. I think this is going to be a wonderful opportunity.
Well, it's going to be fun, but I really want to make this really fun. Okay, I mean, we're going to see a debate. We're going to take off after this and go home, and we're going to watch the vice president and vice president hopeful, okay, debate. But I really think we ought to come up with our new style. I mean, you know, we can't bring Socrates, our buddy, here.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. We probably could. But...
We could. Or we could bring Big Bird instead.
We will be, yes.
Big Bird will make an appearance.
And by the way, before we get into that, why don't we just do some other politics? What is it, an hour? We've got 1 hour?
No, what we're talking about is we're probably going to shoot for an hour and a half, and if it looks like it has some legs, may go a little bit longer. If it doesn't, we'll stop there, and if it really starts to die before that, we'll stop there. I don't think it's going to die. I think this is going to be...
No, but you know...
I think the joint's going to be jumping.
What we can do, because we've got a Democrat and Republican, we can start doing some other politics, too. We could really get this whole place rocking. And it won't be here. It'll be at the City Hall upstairs.
It'll be at the City Hall auditorium. I think they hold about 200 people.
Now, is this show going to be on next week to tell people before?
Well, no, not before we do this, because we normally tape on Thursdays.
We're taping now.
Right.
It's next week.
It's next week that the auditorium thing is going to be on Wednesday night.
No, but this show will be before Wednesday night.
Boy, we are. Yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
It'll start airing on 15th.
But if people see it on a Thursday night, it'll be all over.
Then it'll be all over. So whatever you do, see the show early in the week. That's very important that you set your clock, set your TiVo, set your Comcast tube. Get this, the first show of the week on Monday, and then watch it every single night, at least twice.
Every single night. And if you want to vote for me, please vote twice. I tell people that, and one lady goes, "Oh, I can vote twice?" I say, "Sure."
Sure you can. You know, I wonder what would happen if she voted for you and then wrote your name in.
I had a Republican write my name in.
Really?
Yep. They didn't count it, though.
All right. Well, I suppose, well, interesting possibilities, by golly.
Well, we have there's a lot of choices. You know, David, when this is all over, one way or another, we're going to sit down privately and we're going to talk about it. But I just can't believe, at my heart of hearts, that you truly believe that Romney is better than the president. I really cannot believe that, especially when you are articulate. You're an individual who I love to banter with and push you around. You push me back. But when they ask him questions and he can't answer the questions, that's not good business. And again, because we're in this sort of this mob mentality attitude throughout the country, we might just get somebody we really don't want. We need somebody to answer the questions. We may not like it, but look, we are going forward. The housing has gone up by a lot in some places. Unemployment has gone down. The banks are doing better, et cetera. Right across the board, things are getting better. And it's now from 8.1 to 7.8. And then the first thing that Romney did when he heard that is he had all the excuses why it was not good. Okay, why it was not good that it was from 8.1 to 7.8. It's not good. It was but yet he would use 8.1 all the time against the president. Now he's trying to use 7.8 percentage against the president. And that's just wrong.
Kenny, I'll tell you something. If I thought that President Obama would do a better job over the next 4 years, or that he had demonstrated a good track record, I would support him. I'm not. What I'm saying is I would vote for the best person. I honestly think at this time in our lives, at this time in the country's life, Mitt Romney is going to be a better choice to try to handle the budget issues, the spending issues. The budget deficit has gone up tremendously under President Obama. It's increased by approximately 50% in less than 4 years. I was at...
well, hold on a second. Oh, wait, stay on one thing, okay?
Why? You don't.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean,
okay.
you know,
all right.
okay, because the deficit is a good thing.
So the one thing, and again, no matter what one thinks about it, the Affordable Health Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, is going to cost billions and trillions of dollars. And it's not necessarily billions and trillions of dollars.
Where are you getting these prices? And by the way, Mr. Republicans, one of the ways, and I'll tell you, you know, we gave the Republicans, we gave the wealthy people 12 years ago a tax, we call it a tax break. And they were supposed to earn money, right? Build jobs, help our economy, and make our economy better than what it is now. In that 12 years,
what happened?
Well, in that 12 years,
Yeah.
they have run the country down. They've got us into 2 wars, all right? They have, look at what's happened on, you know, Wall Street, not Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Look at the poverty. Look at the people from housing and homes. This is what your Republicans did. Who wants to go back to that? And you want to know something? Tell me what he's going to do. And you can. And you say, well, you grow the deficit by this much. Guess what? Money's starting to come now back into the coffers. Things are starting to get a little better. It's going forward. And we want to go back to that?
I'll tell you, I was down at
oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
And by the way, this is one way that they're going to, you know, cut things. They're going to get rid of, you know, Sesame Street. That's what they're going to do. I know that might not mean much.
I'm gonna make the pledge right now publicly. I am not going to cut Big Bird. All
You're
right?
not?
No, I'm not.
So I got an idea.
What?
So if I get a Big Bird costume, you will wear it through the whole show.
I will. Yes, I will. You know what? And I'll also wear it waving signs. I'll go down when I wave signs.
Will you?
I will wear it.
Will you wave my sign?
I'll wear it. You know where I'll wear it? I'll wear it on my butt.
On your what?
My butt. B-U-T-T.
Wear the
I'll
sign
wear
on your
sign
butt.
on my butt. Yes.
Holding Big Bird.
No. I'll hold my sign, which is big. I've got a big sign, but I'll wear yours on my back.
You got big signs?
I have a sign that's it's homemade, but I think it looks pretty good, which is 4x4, and I put it up on a 10-foot pole.
4x4.
Yeah.
A 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, it's in 2 parts. I carry it, and I wave it at you know, when I'm on a street corner.
A 4x4 on a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, about like this.
Oh my God!
It towers. It's the Big Bird of signs.
Wow, that is really, and no one's complained, or?
Well, let's put it this way. The wind has picked it off a couple of times, and I have almost gone into people's windows as they've been by at 60 miles an hour. So I'm being very, very careful about this now. And I have, you know, it's like an airplane taking off.
Is it on a plywood?
No, it's on a big, you know, it's on the corrugated stuff we use for the hard signs.
Okay.
Painted over some stuff. But if the wind is over about 8 miles an hour, I don't put it up.
Well, what you need is the plywood. Okay, that's what you need, the plywood. And basically,
can you imagine how heavy that would be?
2 ropes coming down where people can hold them like that.
Suspended by a hot air balloon, and there are a lot of stuff I could do.
David wins after killing his opponent with his sign, holding a Big Bird with Gidge's sign on his rear end. All right.
You know, that would be a good shot for Halloween.
Yeah, that would be a good shot.
You get the costume, I'll wear it.
Yeah, well, I got some new. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'd go around and put, well, you wouldn't say to put Republican on the back. You might get shot in the
you've given me a really good promotional idea. Maybe I'll go to the discussion on the 17th with a Big Bird costume. That would be fun.
I'll rent it for you.
That would be fun.
I'll rent it for you.
Well, your wife, Lee is an artist. Maybe she could make me one.
I have a question. You know things are obviously getting better. And you know there's money coming into the coffers. Now, you know that. You've heard about the real estate sales. They're growing, especially here in Nashville. They're not doing great, but they're doing good around the country.
Rather than, telling me what I know, tell me what you'd like me to answer.
You don't know this?
Well, go ahead. Say your
Okay,
piece.
you don't know that real estate's picking up? You don't know that from 8.1 to 7.8% jobs are coming in a little bit? You don't know that? You do know that?
I do know the jobs numbers are down.
Okay.
I would question some of the real estate stuff, but go ahead.
Okay. But you certainly would, if the real estate stuff was bad, you'd certainly say, point it and go, hey, it's bad.
What I saw tonight, and this was on the national news, was spots in the country where real estate is becoming very hot because the mortgages, the foreclosure rate is going down. And so there's products.
The lowest in 4 years, by the way.
Right.
Are we going forward?
It does appear, from what I know, which is very little. And this is not a terribly informed judgment.
Come on.
No, we talk about this stuff. That the foreclosure rate is coming down. Real estate is doing better in some parts of the country. Having said that, I went to First Student today and talked with people. They're the company that does all of the school buses and charter buses in Nashville and the state of New Hampshire. And those folks are not getting the benefit of any kind of increase. So I think the increase is very, very spotty and very segmented.
Well, it's interesting you'd say that, but they have jobs, David.
Well, one of the problems...
they may not be happy.
One of the problems that we don't look at, and they...
No, wait a minute. I want to ask you, so the country's going forward. We're not going backwards. We're not stalled.
I don't know that we're going forward. I don't think we're going backwards.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
Real estate's up. Unemployment compensation, people apply for it, is down. All right. From 8.1 to 7.8. Okay, percentage of people out of work. And things are not going forward?
And do you know one of the reasons they're not? Because they are predicting the stock market to take a dive during the next quarter.
What the hell does that have to do with now? You're going to die in 25 or 30 years.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
You can't see good? You can't see things are getting better?
Kenny, I think I just told you, I gave you an assessment that may not have been terribly rosy, but was positive. I'm saying...
But you just said...
Ken, what I said was...
It's not going forward.
What I said is, I don't think it's getting worse. I'm not sure that it's going forward. That's what I said.
Unemployment is down.
Ken, if you'll give me a chance, I will tell you. There are things that are down. There are also indications that we're going to go back into... Ken, there are also indications that we're also going to go back into another recession.
Oh yeah.
In the next 3 to 6 months.
So that's good. So what we ought to do is we ought to get Romney as president, all right, screwing things up even more than what they've already screwed things up, and get rid of a president who's got things going forward. Here's his Republican. He can't admit that the Democratic president has got things moving forward. He can't admit that. He knows the numbers are down. You know the people filing for unemployment is down. You know the real estate is going up. It says people are now starting to spend a little bit more money. But that's not going forward to you?
Kenny, who are you going to vote for, Romney or Obama?
Question.
Well, no, you've been asking. No, you've been asking. No,
I've already answered going forward?
I've already answered that.
Are we going forward?
Answered that.
I'm going to vote for the best person.
Who's that?
That's Obama, of course.
Okay.
And you're going to vote for who?
Romney. What's Obama done?
What is he going to do?
What's Obama done?
Excuse me.
What has Obama done?
What has he done? Let me see.
What has Obama done in the last 4 years?
Save the auto industry?
No,
excuse me.
No, he didn't
1
really.
million
The government
jobs.
still owns the auto industry.
Wait a minute.
The government still has an ownership stake in the auto industry and can't sell it.
And Chrysler did not pay them back?
Ford, they can't.
At 19% interest?
They can't sell their GM shares.
Oh, wow. And you want
because
this all done
down.
In 4 years. Let's see. What they've done is they've got, say, probably billions and billions of, far more money than what the auto people owe us that has come back to us, all right? But yet, to you, things are not going forward.
Yep, I'm not sure they are.
All right, you're not sure that they are. And this is the reason why you can't talk to Republicans.
Now, I
they
think
do,
this
and I'm
is-
not talking about that. You can't talk to Republicans.
Raise your
Things
hand.
are going forward, but he's not sure.
Raise your hand at home. I'm going to ask you a question. Who do you think is the more reasonable person in this discussion? Dave, raise those hands, or Ken? Okay, thank you. It's 5-1, Dave. It really is. And it may have been more because I think some of the hands were from
One
kids.
of those TVs were on, but no one was in the room.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
yeah,
all right.
Reasonable. But you see, we don't even have to go through, it is going forward. You don't want to admit it because there is an audience. You just don't want to admit it. But tell me one thing that Romney would do better.
He would not impose Obamacare. He would not tax. He would not provide a $5 trillion tax.
So, in other words, a person with an existing condition would not have insurance?
Do they have insurance now?
Yes.
Oh, then what's wrong with that?
That's Obamacare.
Did they have it 2 years ago?
No.
All right.
26 years old, that somebody can stay on one's insurance policy?
Sure.
Yeah.
They don't
do
spend,
Obamacare. That's taken away.
We could spend billions and trillions of dollars.
That's taken.
Where's that money going to come from?
No, hold on a second.
I'm not going to hold on.
Oh,
Whose pocket is that going to come out of?
So insurance for everyone really doesn't count. So what they're going to do, how about a person with an existing problem?
You know what counts?
What
counts is health care,
They
Ken.
can't do, wait a minute, isn't it 60% of the people who
What
go
counts is
for
health care,
bankruptcy?
not insurance.
It says insurance?
What counts is health care, not insurance. What we want to do is we want to have a healthy country. If it happens through insurance or other ways, that's fine.
You are a Republican.
And the reason I'm a Republican is because of the money. If we screw up the economy so badly that our country goes down the tubes, whether people have health insurance isn't going to matter. Isn't going to matter a damn bit. If we don't keep the finances straight, everything else is secondary.
But David,
we've got to get the finances in order.
If you admit, because the numbers are there, we are going forward, David. What forward means is there's more money to spend, which comes into the Treasury. You guys are stuck on wanting to win. You don't want to admit we're going forward.
Ken, are we going forward in that we've increased the debt in the last 3 years over 50%?
I see.
Is that forward?
I see.
And you know who's going to be paying for that?
You want to know something?
Our kids and their kids.
Don't let them convince you that we have more jobs are coming. We know that.
Yeah.
Right?
And you know the sun's going to rise tomorrow. More jobs are coming. They haven't come yet, but they're coming. By golly.
And the reason why
he
says not to vote for Obama because in 4 or 3 months or 2 months, there's going to be another recession. Gee, so we ought to vote for Romney because you say there's going to be another recession. Oh, you're so silly. I'm telling you.
No, you know the difference.
We're going to move on to another subject.
I wanted the last word. The difference between the two of us here is Ken is telling you that you should vote for President Obama. I'm saying I'm not going to, and here are the reasons why. You're intelligent. You guys make up your own mind. You do what's right for you. That's fine. I'm fine with that. So I'm not trying to dictate who you should vote for. I'm just telling you who I'm going to vote for and why I'm going to vote for him. And if it resonates for you, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too.
And that sounds really nice, and he is a nice person and all of that.
And I am a good person.
But he will not admit that things are going forward. In fact, what he says that they're really not going to go forward because in a couple months there's going to be awful troubles. Well, so we're going to put Romney in there.
Just remember, the lemming goes forward, but one of the places he goes is off the cliff.
Excuse me, in the typical Republican, I'm the guy who used this before regarding all the Republicans following the Pied Piper, and he takes it. Come up with something original.
Well,
Big bird feathers or something.
I figure I can do this because I'm cuter.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, we better not have a contest with who's cuter. I'll tell you, we both lose. We're both losers on that. All right, let's get down to...
How much time do we have? Are we about run out?
Yeah, no, we got about probably 5 more minutes,
right.
4 more minutes.
God, people are probably saying, please,
no, they're not.
End the freaking show.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
And the fact is that this is the show that makes sense. Okay? I love TV.
Nuts? We make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, think about it for a moment. I know I like TV. Don't misunderstand me. But I like the push and the shove and the pull and all of that. And other shows don't do this. But other shows can get people to come on so we can sort of interview them. But because I'm a Democrat and you're a Republican, a Democrat doesn't want to come on because you're a Republican. Republicans don't want to come on because I'm a Democrat.
I'm not just a Republican. I'm a Big Bird supporter.
Oh, God. The Big Bird.
Did you watch Big Bird?
All right, wait a minute. Let us make what do you think tonight? How is your guy going to do, Ryan? I'm not going to answer any questions.
I think it's going to come out to be pretty much a draw. I think that Biden is probably going to get some points because of his knowledge and his foreign policy knowledge, and I think Ryan's going to get some points because of his domestic policy knowledge. But I think it's going to come out to be pretty much a draw.
No, I don't think so.
What do you think is going to happen?
No, I think Biden is going to just say, answer a question, answer a couple questions. Ryan got himself in a lot of trouble by signing on with this other crazy guy who makes these foolish things about women. I mean, Republicans, I'm sorry, now they love women, okay? 6 months ago, they couldn't care about women, but now they love women, all right? And he was one of them. No abortion, no matter what, under any circumstance, even rape, okay, or incest, all right? But now they have changed it where forced rape, but they can't quite say what forced means. So there's another little tiny little thing in there. They just can't make anything straight, you know. But so I think he's going to ask him. I think he's going to ask him some questions. He's not going to be able to answer. He won't answer.
Well, that could be. That doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be a 50-50 split. What I think because I think if we're talking about people walking out and doing the spin, I think it was very clear that Governor Romney outpointed, for want of a better term, President Obama at the presidential debate. I don't know that there's going to be nearly that difference.
No, you know, you want to know something? On PBS, by the way, I think we talked about this. You'll see the two presidents and how they've got to where they are, or one president and the other one's going to. And it's quite fascinating to watch the debate that he had with Kennedy, Romney and Kennedy. And Kennedy did exactly what Romney did to the president, but the president didn't fight back. All right, he was just quiet. He wasn't there. I will say that. But okay, let us break. Tell everybody what you would like to tell everybody about yourself.
Well, my name is Dave. Oh, here we go. My name is Dave Robbins. I'm running for re-election as one of your state representatives in Ward 9, and I've been endorsed by Big Bird. And hopefully Sesame Street products will not see this until after the election. They won't come after me for saying something I shouldn't. You can reach me at 978-500-9475. I'm on the web. I'm on email at davidsrobbins@comcast.net. And don't you forget, Wednesday night the 17th, 6:30, come on down to the City Hall Auditorium. We're going to talk question one. We're going to have Kevin Smith, former gubernatorial nominee. We're going to have Chris Serlin, a great state rep from Portsmouth, and it's going to be wonderful. And I'm being told to hurry the butt up, so Kenny, take it away.
All right. My name is Ken Gidge. I'm also running for political office, Ward 6. I'm in Commerce, very important. This is my last term. I'm not running again. I mean, this is just too much. It's too much. Too much work. But I do the work. But you can get me at kgidge@aol.com, kgidge@aol.com, or you can go to Facebook and befriend me, or I befriend you, whatever. And also I have a website called Gidge World. That was my show until he came, and now it's the Art of Politics. All right. You can get me there. You can see some of the artworks there. And also, well, probably by now the Boston Globe would have done a story on some of my artwork. But my telephone number also is 603-864-9332. I think that's it, David.
All right. Hey, thank you. And on behalf of my buddy Big Bird,
Yep.
Thank you, Kenny.
Bye.
Bye-bye.